Good day, my friends. How are you all doing? I hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic and feeling mighty groovy. Who all is here? We only got a few, but let's check out who's arrived. Mr. Toe of the Joe, who unfortunately has to go. Shouldn't say unfortunately. I know you enjoy your work, Mr. Tojo. Maria Parkinson and Kirk are here. And so far, that's all I see. There's Pretty Marie. Hello, Pretty Marie. Good morning to you. There's Maverick. Ahoy. Daughter of Zion. Good morning to you. Rebel Metal. Thought I would do something a little different here that I've never done before. Just to see if there's any interest anyway. Maybe not many people are interested in music. We'll see what goes on, but I thought I would offer a bit of a music lesson to enhance people's guitar playing or piano playing or whatever it is that they play. Just Jacob, good morning to you. And Sharon Lubitsch, good morning to you. The birds are going wild. That happens here a lot. There's 1,000 birds that sit on the wire right across from my house all the time. This is where they sit and they stare at my house. There's Andrea and Jag. Good day to you both. Don't have any guitar. That's too bad. I hope you change that someday. The best thing I ever did in my life was on my 14th birthday. Yep, I'm going to teach some theory, Sandro, absolutely. Well, I'm going to teach people what a key is, okay, what it means to play in a certain key. Because when you get around, guitar players around a campfire or whatever, that's the one thing hardly anybody understands is what a key is. And if you understand what a key is, especially if you sing, you can change the key you're playing in. I mean, there's an easy way to do that too. Where's my capo? You can change the key by applying this to your guitar, of course. But if you know what you're doing, you can also change the key just by playing different chords. So, no, you won't jam up the scroll here. It's only on when I'm using the phone. So no problem when you're here. I think we're going to feel we belong. Right on, Johnny. So, yeah, the best thing I ever did, my 14th birthday, there was a gas station beside my house. And the owner of the gas station's son had an old harmony guitar and an old bass amp. It wasn't even a guitar amp for sale for $50. And my grandmother came down. It was my birthday, and she wanted to buy me something. She said, I'm just going to give you money. I said, okay, that's cool. So I took the money. I went right next door and bought the guitar and the amp. And I brought it in my room, and my life changed instantly. As soon as I held it in my hands, life was completely different. So it's something I never regretted. If any of you, I know Shofar Girl, I hope she shows up. I mostly taught myself in the beginning. My grandfather showed me a couple of chords to start. I was a very quick study. It was weird. It was like, I'm not saying this to boast, but when I picked it up, I knew what to do with it right away. My mother actually came in to ask me if it was me playing the first night I had it. She's like, is that you? Yeah. She's like, how can that be? So I don't know. It just makes sense. So I was a strange one. I just knew how to play. Not even sure why. Good morning, Lisa. So we'll see how many people we get here, if we have some interest. I don't know how many of you are guitar players. It's only 33 people, but how many of you play guitar or any instrument, I should say, not just guitar, but maybe piano, violin, whatever. Yeah, I did a short live stream last night. Logan says yes, he does. Jag is trying to learn. Rebel Metal plays. Well, we got a few people then. That's good. We'll wait till we get a few more here and we'll get started. Because if you missed the first part of the lesson, it's going to be kind of rough. So we'll wait till people get here. And I will give you a basic guitar lesson. No, I don't have a piano. I have in the past. I've had digital keyboards and stuff, but me and piano never got along that well. I could play a bit, but just wasn't my thing. I enjoy drums and guitar a lot more. So I was talking to a person one day that played, what was it they played? Clarinet, I think, or saxophone. And they were asking me music questions, and they asked me a question about notation, like reading music. And I said, I don't read music. And they were floored completely that I could even play without being able to read music. So this is another major misconception. You do not need to learn how to read music. Okay, no matter what, it's helpful on certain instruments. But if you understand music theory, reading the notation is not necessary. A lot of people think it is. It's not. It's definitely not. So I dove into theory and learned that really well, but I do not read music. I use my ears, my knowledge, and my instinct, basically, to play. So I don't know how many people will be interested. We've lost some already, I guess. The non-musicians have said, nope, I'm going to fly the coop. So we have lost a few already. Well, to a point, that's true, Johnny, but even if you want to play classical guitar, I mean, I took classical guitar for 2 years. I grew my fingernails and the whole bit. I still didn't need to read it. It wasn't necessary. I don't have perfect pitch, but I have very good relative pitch. Now, okay, forgetting the name of the chords and stuff. No, that's not, I'm not promoting that. It's good to know your theory. Okay, it's really good to know your theory. Reading music and theory are two different things. Okay, reading notation is not theory. Reading notation is just a way to write down music so you can write it down and another person can read it and know what to play. That's all it is. Theory is understanding the mechanics. Okay, that's a totally different thing. So I don't know if we're going to have much interest. We'll see. If we don't, we don't. That's fine. But I thought I'd give it a try for something to do, something new. Well, a degree of having feel is really important. But Joe Satriani always said there's a mixture of theory and feel, and you need a mixture of both. Okay, and some people can just do it by feel, and they don't need to know the names of the chords, nothing. I have met a few people like that, but it also makes it very difficult to communicate with other musicians, right? So if you get in a room, you're jamming with people, and you say, you need the 4 chord there. They don't know what that means. That's a bit of an issue. No, I don't like the memberships. The memberships require you to do all these crazy things. You got to make these custom stickers and all this stuff. I don't even know how to do any of it. So I'm still hoarse from singing yesterday. I sang a bit more last night. Ooh, got to get rehearsed. My lungs are feeling it. My throat is feeling it. I woke up this morning, I could barely talk. So I definitely got to get rehearsed. I had a video call with my son, and I sang Freebird. I forgot how hard that is to sing. I haven't been given private lessons lately, Sandro, but probably could be convinced to do it again. Probably could be. Okay. Well, we're going to start here. So what I'm going to teach today, Jersey City Joe, do you know any theory at all? I think you said you know some, right? Getting back on the horse, yeah. I think you said you know some theory. Yeah, okay. So I don't know if this would be useful to you or not. So you hear people say they want to play in a certain key. That song's in the key of C, that song's in the key of G, whatever. So it's all based on the major scale. And the major scale, I'm going to play it in C here. So for those who don't know the notes on the neck and stuff, I'll help you out here. The third fret of the fifth string, if you play a C chord, it's where your ring finger is. That's a C note. Okay, that's our root note for this key. So the major scale, of course, is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so any of you who are interested in this, you should write this down. This is very important. Actually, I'm going to put a couple of things in the chat here to help you. Okay, goes like this. Root. Whole, half, whole, half. Okay, half step and a whole step. It's the first thing you need to learn. On any instrument, a half step is going from, well, let's say on a guitar, if we go from that C note and just go one fret, that's called a half step. When we go two frets from here to there, that's a whole step. Okay, so a half step is one fret, whole step is two frets. On a piano, to go from a white key to the next black key, that's a half step. To go from a white key and skip a black key and go to the next white key is a whole step. Or from one black key to the next black key would be a whole step. Although there's certain spots on the piano where there is no black key, so it's different there. But basically, one note up is a half step, and two notes up is a whole step. Okay, so what I just wrote there, wherever we start, root is do. Okay, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So the first note is do, C. B to C, no black key, exactly. We'll talk about that too in a bit. So, yeah, I guess you guys can see it okay. So our major scale is root, wherever we start, and then we go whole, half, whole, and half. Okay, so you can play the major scale anywhere on the neck following that formula. Okay, root, whole, half, whole, half. Okay, that's what a key is based on. So we're going to write down the key of C actually here. I'll put the letters in the chat for you. We're going to use the key of C because it's all just letters. There's no sharps, there's no flats. It's the only key like that. Okay, that's the one we're going to focus on here. So C is the root, okay? So the root, and this is a major key I'm talking about, okay? Some people say there's no such thing as a minor key, but that's another argument we could have. So the root is major, a major chord. So C major. If you play guitar, I'm sure you know how to play a C chord, C major chord. Your 2 chord is minor. Okay. So if you look at that key I just wrote down, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, the root chord is a C major. The 2 chord in this, we're just going to follow the alphabet, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Yep, the chord, the D, right? D is number 2. So D is minor. Whoop. D minor is the 2 chord. Okay. Number 3 is also minor. Okay, I'll write these down first. 4 is major. 5 is also major. 6 is minor. 7 is an oddball, and we'll have to talk about that. 7, whoops, type it right, Jeff. 7 is a diminished chord. I will show you how to play that in a bit. And then 8 is the octave. So we'll actually put 8 in there. So 8 is the same as 1. Okay, 8 is the same thing. Okay, so what I'm saying is that the key of C consists of these chords. C major is the root chord, because 1 is always major. 2 is always minor, so it's D minor. Number 3 is also minor, so it's E minor. Number 4 is always major, so F major. Number 5 is also major, so it's G major. Number 6 is minor, so it's A minor. After we get to G, we start at the beginning of the alphabet again. So after G, we go to A. A minor. Number 6, always minor. Number 7 is B diminished. To play a diminished chord, if you know how to play a B minor chord, play a B minor and take this finger here, your ring finger, and that needs to go back 1 fret and everything else stays where it is. Then you play the 4 middle strings. Okay. 7 is always a diminished chord. And then C is the root again. So you can hear do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in these chords. Okay, that's the key of C. Anybody got a question? Besides, what is God's secret chord? I don't really know. You'll have to ask, what's his name? Leonard Cohen. Yeah, I'll leave this posted, yep. Good morning, Ray. Did that make sense to everybody, or is it... No, we're not talking about modes yet. Modes are starting in different places. So if you went from D to D in the key of C, you're playing what's called the Dorian mode. And if you went from E to E, you'd be playing the Phrygian mode. That gets a little complicated, that stuff. So does everybody who's doing this for D and B diminished? For D minor, okay. So my first finger is on the first fret of the first string for D minor. Middle finger is on the third string, second fret. And my ring finger is on the second string, third fret. That's D minor. This one's on the first of the first. This one's on the second fret of the third string. This one's on the second string, third fret. Okay. B diminished. Do you know how to play if you know how to play a B minor chord? So this is like an A minor shape. If you know how to play an A minor, play an A minor with these three fingers. Move it up 2 frets, and then you put your bar on. Okay, and then you have a bar chord. This is a B minor. To change this into a diminished chord, the ring finger goes back 1 fret. So we have this finger here is on the second fret of the 5th string. The ring finger is on the 4th string, 3rd fret. The middle finger is on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And the pinky is on the 4th fret, 3rd string. Okay. So it's not complicated. I mean, if you don't know how to play a bar chord, I guess that's a bit of a challenge for you, but take the letters of the alphabet. Okay. Only in C we can do this because we get sharps and flats in other keys, but in C, that's the best way to learn this. Yamaha, Sandro, a Yamaha. So, yeah, definitely a Yamaha. Best cheap guitars out there. Inexpensive, I should say. The best inexpensive guitars. So, we go major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. I will type that in the chat again. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. There's your formula. Your root, your 4, and your 5 are major chords. Your 2, your 3, and your 6 are minor chords. So 1, 4, 5 major, 2, 3, 6 minor, 7 diminished. Okay, so let's take the key of G. So here's the key of G. There's that. And okay, that's the key of G. There's 1 sharp in it. So that's why it's not as easy to do in other keys, because sometimes they're sharps. Well, actually, all the time they're sharps. So there's only 1 sharp in this key. So the G would be G major. Number 2 is always minor. So the 2 chord in that key is A minor. The 3 chord is always minor. So the 3 chord is B minor. The 4 chord is always major. So it's C major. The 5 chord is always major. So it's D major. The 6th chord is always minor. So it's E minor. And the 7 chord is always diminished. So it's F sharp diminished. Does that make sense? Here's something. We'll jump back on when I can. Did anybody understand that? Very cool. And that applies to every key. So now, here's the other part that you need to know. I don't know what I do with my pick. Lost it already. There it is. Okay, so we're going to, the names of the strings, if you don't know those, E, A, D, G, B, E. I guess I should write those down too. E, A, D, G, B, E. From the big string to the small string. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. I know that's silly, but it's a good way to remember it. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Okay. Excuse me. So we're going to do the E string just to show you how to figure out the notes. Okay. So if I play this string open, it means I don't put my finger on a fret. If I just play it open, it's an E because that's the name of the string. It's E. Plays the E note when you play it open. As I go up a half step, of course, the note's going to change, right? So after E, better put this in here too. E to F is a half step. And B to C is a half step, or 1 fret. All the other ones are a full step. All other notes in between them is a full step. So E to F, okay, that's only a half step. So after E, the next note is F, because E and F are a half step apart. When we get to B, it's going to happen again. B to C will be a half step. So after E, we have F. Now we take an F and we go up a half step. We get an F sharp. The word sharp just means higher. Okay, it means a fret higher, half step higher. So now we get E, F, because E and F is a half step. Then we got F sharp. Then after F sharp, we got G. After G, we got G sharp. After G sharp, we go back to the beginning of the alphabet. So we get A again. Then after that is A sharp. After A sharp is B. Here's our other half step. So B to C is a half step. So the next one is not B sharp. The next one is C. After C, C sharp. After C sharp is D. After D sharp is E. Sorry, C sharp, then D. After D is D sharp, I meant to say. And after D sharp, we're back to E. So if you've ever wondered why there's 2 dots on this fret, this fret, that's because it's the octave. This fret plays the same note as the open string, just an octave higher. Okay, so I'll do them again. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, This is our other half step, B to C. So this is C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and E. Okay, so that's, and you can do any string. So if you start with the A string, okay, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So we'll start with the A string. Now the next note after the A is going to be A sharp. Then B. B to C is one of our half steps. So the next one is C. C sharp. D. D sharp. E. E to F is one of our half steps. So F. F sharp. G. G sharp. And back to A. When we get to the double dots, we're at the same as what we started with. Okay, hope that clears that part up for you. So that's how you find the notes on your neck. Anybody got a question? And yes, guitars are awesome. Totally agree. Couldn't agree with that more. I guess we get no questions. Not so many guitar players, I guess. Well, the notes are the same no matter how you're tuning. You're just, it's not going to be Eddie ate dynamite anymore. It's going to be dynamite ate dynamite, good ate dynamite. Okay, that you're just tuning your strings to different notes. But whatever one you're starting with, whatever note that is, yeah, it goes the same way. I don't know what you mean by are the notes in the same position. If I was in Dadgad, that means, okay, so D, A, I think that you go from here, D, A, D. So, yes, you do. G. So this would be tuned to an A. Let's say this one was an A, okay, in Dadgad. So this would be an A note when you play it open. So then it would be A sharp, B, C. You'd start with A and just keep going the same way, right? Change to D. No, if you change it to a D, the first fret would then be a D sharp because you're starting with D. Go up a half step from D, you get D sharp. So if I was in Dadgad, this note would be D. D sharp. It's F right now because it's an E string, right? It's an E string. So if I go a half step up from E, I get F. So that is, if you don't want to learn a whole bunch of theory, at least learn what I just showed you, right? That's the very basics, but very, very helpful, right? It'll, and the other thing I'd say is intervals. Maybe I'll do another lesson sometime in intervals, but as long as you have those things under your belt, you can communicate with other people. You can, you can have a bit of an understanding, and you can change the key of a song to match your voice. Most people, as I say, just like to use the capo. People just put that on and they don't even know what key they're playing in, but I mean, there's a purpose for the capo too, but it's nice to understand. Well, I hope so. Christian's take, that'd be good. I'm assuming you have a guitar and you've been trying to learn. Trying to learn just from, like using tablature and stuff. That's not the best way to learn. There's no substitute for having an actual teacher show you the basics, right? Get you on your way. I was hoping Shofar Girl was going to show up because I know she just bought one. I don't think she's here. But I see we don't have a whole lot of interest. We only got 17 people here. Everybody left. Not many guitar players. And I guess if you're not a guitar player, why would you be interested in this? So that makes sense. But I just wanted to see if I'd get any interest in something like that. Good morning, Yoli. Good day to you. We learned this on air guitar. I was quite an air guitar player myself. Used to do a lot of that. So, people would love to hear you play us a song live. Yeah, the problem I'm having, though, 2 problems. 1, I've got my voice all wrote off from singing yesterday. And 2, I can't think of any songs that I can play that won't break the rules, we'll say. Okay, Logan, just go ahead and ask what part don't you understand? And I'll help you out. You're best off to ask me questions right now while I'm here. I can help you. Well, you can always start again, Grace. Never too late. What part don't you understand, Logan? What part confused you? Yeah, just with really cheap guitars, the only thing I'll suggest, make sure they're easy to play because a lot of cheap ones aren't. And if there's anything that's going to discourage a new player from continuing, it is high action and really sore fingers. You're going to have sore fingers anyway. But if your action is high, you're going to give up. That must be what the email is, just came in. No, I didn't get it, so. No, sharp just means higher up the neck, a note that goes higher. Minors, okay, to explain what major and minor actually is quite complicated. But what I'm saying, when you learn your chords, right, you've probably learned the basic chords. You've probably learned C major, A minor, G major, E minor. The major chords are the happy sounding ones. This is the way we always explain this. Okay, so happy sounding chords. Okay, they're bright sounding, they're cheerful. Then we got the very sad sounding minor chords. Right, they have a more somber, sad sound to them. Because of the minor third that's in them is the reason, but I know you won't understand that. E minor is another one. Almost a dark sounding chord, right? Those are minor chords. Okay? So all I'm saying with major and minor, the root, the fourth one, and the fifth one are always major. The second one, the third one, and the sixth one are always minor. And the seventh one is always a diminished chord. So you have to learn a different shape for those. Okay, that's a diminished. Yeah, I usually write in minor keys. Most of my songs I've written minor keys. I like the more somber sounding chords too. So this is for major keys, what I just explained. Okay, a minor key is a whole other ball game. So I hope it was helpful to somebody. Just don't know what I can play that I won't break the rules. Trying not to do that. Just a little bit I played yesterday and the day before. Got everybody begging for secular music on here now. That's not the right thing to do. So trying to get away from that. I will learn some gospel songs. I'll have a look at some Elvis, and there's a song called Why Me, Lord. I can brush up on that. And Hank Williams, I Saw the Light. I used to do that. I'll learn a few gospel tunes, and then once I get An Amazing Grace, yep. And once I get my voice back in shape that I don't hurt like this after singing 5 songs, can't believe the damage it did to me. It's been so long since I sang. I felt it as soon as I sang, but then a couple hours after, whoa, I really felt it. Peace in the Valley, that's a good one too. Yeah, I'll learn some gospel for you guys. And yeah, playing electric guitars is so much easier. I actually recommend, for a lot of people, if they're going to give up because of sore fingers, get an electric, start with that. But I mean, acoustic is so nice, but electrics are easier to play, definitely. For children especially, they're better. So, but I do recommend acoustic. It's the best way to go if you can take the pain, because it hurts. Nylon string ones, yeah. But if you get a nylon string guitar, it has a big wide neck. Yes, a lot of the Psalms. There's a channel called Sarah Speaks, and she's got this really beautiful, beautiful guitar, and sings a whole bunch of the Psalms. You're saying you just sent me some, but there's no email showing up. Where are you sending them to, Grace? There's no email showing up. I'm not sure where you're saying you sent them. Where'd you send them? Well, if you're looking for a beginner guitar, Christian's take, get a Yamaha. And if you're looking for an electric, even Yamaha make good ones. I have a PV. My Strat is a PV. I like that a lot, actually. So where are you sending these songs to, Grace? You're not sending them to my email, obviously. Okay. You got to remember, Logan, that E to F and B to C are the two you got to remember. It's only a half a step between them. Okay, there's not going to be a sharp in between E and F or B and C. Okay, so we start from E. Okay, this is the E string. That's why I'm saying E. We play E. E to F is one of the half steps, right? So right off the bat, we go from E right to F. We're not going to say E sharp here. We're going to say F. Okay, because there's nothing in between E and F. So E, F. Now, the rest of them, other than B to C, which is going to be up here, the rest of them, there is a sharp in between them. So after F, we have F sharp. Okay, sharp just means going higher. Then after F sharp, we go to the next letter. It's G. Okay, after G, we go higher, G sharp. After G, we go back to the beginning of the alphabet. Okay, G is the highest letter we use in music. So there's no H. There's no H. So after G sharp, we go to A. And if we take A higher, we get A sharp. After A sharp, we get B. Now this is the other one. We got to remember, B to C. There's no sharp in between them. We just go right from B right to C. So this is C. Then we take C one higher. We get C sharp. Then after C sharp, we get D. After D, we take D higher, we get D sharp. And after D sharp is E. That's the octave. That's the same note we started with. See, we're on the double dot fret. That means we're at the octave. Okay. The live chat, this live chat. You mean you just type them? Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. You made a couple suggestions. Yes, a couple of those songs I'm familiar with. Well, that's good to hear a Christian's take. And Logan, did that unconfuse you? Are you right on, brother? My going for Mocha. It is a pretty nice day. I don't know. I might go for a walk today. Right on. Very good. So the other thing to remember is this. Whoop. There's the other thing to remember. That's the way the chords are in a key. Number 1 is major. 2 and 3 are minor. Number 4 and 5 are major. Number 6 is minor. Number 7 is diminished. You talking about music? I might have someone. Yep, we're talking about music. Right on. I'm literally the only person in this town who dresses the way I do. I stick out like a sore thumb. And if anybody wants an instrument that you can literally, if you got ears for music at all and you can hear notes, you get one of these. Oh, backwards. And you can start playing music real quick. Okay. You either blow air or suck in. That's it. That's as complicated as it gets, right? So learning to play a harmonica well is tricky and takes a long time. But just to get started with one, just pick it up and go to it. You're a guitar player, and I want to get back into to help ease some of the stress I'm dealing with. Music does that, I'll tell you. Well, Kirk, unless to be quite honest, some people are not born with any musical ability. I have had people come for lessons, and they wanted to play so badly. I mean, that was their dream to play. And they tried, some of them tried for 2 and 3 months, and I had to actually sit with them and say, "Look, this is gonna be very upsetting to you, but you don't have any musical ability. You're not gonna get this. There are people who just can't. God didn't make them to do it. He made them to do something else. So I'm not saying you are one of those people, but you might be." Well, playing music doesn't really do that, a Christian's take, I don't think. Listening to music can, but playing it doesn't. Playing it is something different. Competitive and demanding back then. Now, here's the reason I became a music teacher in the first place. My parents took me to a guitar lesson when I was 14. I just got it like 2 months before, maybe even a month. I had it a month, and I could already play a little bit, but I learned on my own. They thought, okay, we'll take him, get him some lessons. He's showing a lot of potential. So they took me to this guitar lesson, and the way this guy was teaching was so bad, it turned me right off. In 2 lessons, I couldn't even stand the thought of going back. I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." He talked to me like I understood everything already, because my fingers were already flying around the fretboard a bit. He thought, "Oh, this kid must know everything going on." Didn't have a clue. Didn't have a clue about any of it. And he talked way over my head. So then I tried another teacher after that, same thing. The teaching was so bad, I couldn't learn anything from it. So I made a decision that I was going to be a music teacher and do it differently. I was gonna offer lessons that anybody could understand. And that's how I designed all my courses that I used to teach. Basically, for the lowest common denominator, the person who knows nothing, okay? It's probably because of the people that tried to teach it to you, Logan. I have a very different way of teaching theory than most people do. My style is very, very different. So I'm not claiming to be the best teacher in the world or anything. I'm just saying I've simplified it for people, because theory is terrifying to people. You even mention theory, they're like, "No, not that." They can't stand even the thought of it. So yeah, and I do them online too. I haven't been doing them, but I could probably be convinced to do a few lessons again. The Lord was almost nudging me to pick my guitar up again the last few days, because it was collecting dust over there. Nerve. Right on, Logan. I'm glad to hear that. Well, and there's another thing. Some people just want to learn to strum a couple chords, play around the campfire for their friends. Other people, like myself, take music extremely seriously. I mean, I wanted to learn everything there was to know about it. I dove in for years and years. When I decided to be a teacher, then I thought, okay, I better get myself up to par. So I spent years, and most of my knowledge literally came from YouTube. I found some really good channels that went deep into theory about the modes and all that stuff. There's some great teachers on YouTube, actually. There's quite a few. One guy named Marty Schwartz. Some of you must know who Marty Schwartz is. Marty Schwartz was my favorite YouTube teacher, actually. Back in the day. Yeah, he's really good. Anybody can learn from him. A lot of my style, he actually invited me to his house because I was in contact with him quite a bit. He sent me his phone number and his address and everything. He's like, man, come on to San Diego and come hang out. But I never did. But Marty is awesome. Very cool. No, I wish I could have. He's in San Diego. But he invited me right to his house. He's like, man, we'll barbecue. We'll do this. We'll jam. I wanted to go so bad, but I don't even have a passport. So wasn't able to. So I'm glad it was helpful, Mr. Reb. Yes, I love sax too, very much. Very, very much. Your live chat is no, it you can't see the live chat again. That's the problem. That's the problem. I don't know why it does that, but when I set up the live stream, I even clicked that box, live chat replay, but it doesn't put it up. I don't know why. $300 in the States, probably $300. Oh, I like that, Jim. That's actually good. Sheet music makes robot musicians. Okay, it turns them into robots. They don't learn to use their ears. They don't learn to have feel. They just regurgitate what's on the paper, right? And they play robotically. They play like robots. So I recommend people, if you want to learn to read music, fine, but it's not a substitute for having feel and good ears. Okay. Open C guitar tuning. Yeah, I've never been much for open tunings. I've used them a bit. Yeah, and Melanie, ear player is good as long as you understand some of the fundamentals as well, right? Like the things I just taught today. Yes, I had this one student who used to describe lessons in the conservatory, right? The Conservatory of Music, the uppity lessons. And this teacher would come over with their pointer or whatever and whack it on the desk and go, stop feeling it. Stop feeling it. Play what is on the page. Stop feeling it. I'd be like, stop feeling the music. Are you for real? I gotta feel it. I gotta feel it. So I know exactly what you mean. Stop saying what? Music is for sure feeling, but not when you're learning in a classical environment. They want you to play exactly what is on that paper, the way it's described. You're not to feel it, you're to regurgitate it. Okay, that's the way they teach you. And that's why I was so successful as a teacher here, because I offered an alternative to that. Oh, got you, Johnny. Yeah, I couldn't even learn in an environment like that. Stop feeling it. Stop feeling it. No, I will not stop feeling it. So that was an experiment. We didn't have a whole lot of interest, but few people got something out of that. Yeah, my email is in the description of every single video and live stream I've ever done. Email is always there, except for the ones on the street, I guess. A lot of forgiveness targets because of this. Okay. You, Mr. Buzz, about 300 okay. I'm not sure what you're saying. Yeah, do you mean 3 o'clock? Oh, 300 for a guitar. Yes, around $300 for a guitar. Yep. It won't be a great guitar, but it won't be bad. You get a Yamaha. I haven't been doing them, but I probably would. I probably would. I'll probably have to do something to supplement the income a bit in the future, so probably would. I used to make decent money teaching guitar. It's not a bad job. It can be stressful. It can be very stressful, especially online because people want to do lessons, but they don't have a good solid signal when they do the video call, and it's cutting out and it's freezing and oh, it's terrible. If you got a good signal and you can do a solid video call, then it's okay. But if you're just using Wi-Fi on your phone in an apartment building with metal all around you and your Wi-Fi signal sucks, then guitar lessons are difficult. Yeah, drums are really, really fun. Drums are my thing now. If I go to play something, it's usually the drums. Great air instrument. Yeah, I play air drums too. Doo, doo, doo. Not totally air drums. I make the sounds with my lips. I don't know why, but yeah, the string is a note itself, which helps. Eddie ate dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Yeah, it was down to 17 there for a bit, but a few people came back. The music lesson's over now, so. But I will probably go for a stroll today and stream. Probably will do that. Could go for a mocha, I think. Yeah, the music lesson's over, so everybody showed up. So maybe I'll do that. I should have a bite to eat before I go. Yeah. Yeah, the trolls stayed away, didn't they? Yes, I could use some stroll in the uplifting weather because it is quite nice out. It's really sunny. Doesn't look like it's windy. It's only -6. Yeah, like I say, $300. You'll get a. It's every good boy deserves fudge. Is the one you're thinking? Every good boy does fine. EGD. Yeah, that doesn't work with the strings. That's only 5 to start with, so there's 6. So it can't be that. Yes, it's nice to just have somebody to sit and have a coffee with. There you go. Every good boy deserves fudge. And in the spaces, it's F-A-C-E, face. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I got my phone charged now, do I? Yep, phone's charged. So we're armed and dangerous. I'll go downtown and stick out like a sore thumb again, like I do every day. I can't believe the looks that I get dressed like this. I don't think it's that out of the ordinary, really, to wear a blazer and a trilby. Like they look at me like I got 10 heads. No, I agree. Everybody's well, now and then I'll see a well-dressed person downtown, but pretty rare. And when I do see one, they notice me too. They'll wave to me. It's like, there's somebody knows how to dress. Because most people do not. Well, I mean, everybody can wear what they want, but I don't know. I think it's nice to look respectable. I do. I don't want to look like a slob walking around. Yes, the Peaky Blinders or whatever. Yeah. Now he looks sharp. I got to say, he looks really sharp. I bet you people walk up to him all the time. He's walking around like that. Man, you look fantastic. I've gotten in cabs dressed like this, and the cab driver looked back and go, "Whoa, look at you!" That's happened a few times. Thomas Shelby, don't know who that is. Is that the Peaky Blinders guy? Is that his name? I want a suit like his. He's got the 3-piece suit. I think he's got a pocket watch too. You don't need a reason. See, that's the thing. You don't need a reason. I go for a walk dressed like this. I'm dressing up every time I leave the house. I don't need a reason. People always say to me, "What, are you going out tonight? Or are you going somewhere?" No, I just dress like this. This is how I dress. You don't need a reason. Definitely not. The reason is you want to feel good about yourself. So put nice clothes on. Go ahead. That's right. Do it for yourself. I just like to look good, so I dress the same every day, as well as I can. And now I got enough clothes I can put different things together, and I'm learning to color coordinate things a little bit. Like I figured the white and black hat, it's not quite the same shade as this, but that's why I went with the shirt today. I spent a lot of years not even understanding color. Okay. I was really badly colorblind. Couldn't even, colors didn't mean anything to me. And the Lord restored that somewhat. I don't think I'm 100% cured of it, but way better than I used to be. Can actually see colors now. So be the trendsetter. Exactly. The trailblazer. Be the trailblazer. And people will remember you. Like I go in a store once and meet somebody. If I go in a month later, sort of dressed the same way, they remember me. I stand out now. So yes, you can, Melanie. I dress like this around the house too. I had a call with my son last night, dressed just like this. Why not? It's what I feel comfortable in. So dress up for your cats. Dress up for your cats. If you enjoy wearing it, wear it. Go for it. I'm actually going to, before I go out, I'm going to change my outfit. Sometimes I change 3 times a day. Oh, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do in the summer. I won't be able to wear my blazers anymore. I was thinking about that the other day. I'll have to hang up the blazers for 5 months. Yes, I suppose they could damage your clothes. Mine are good that way. They don't claw at me or nothing. Apparently the person my middle name is after, my uncle, who very sadly committed suicide right before I was born. And I guess he dressed like this. He was a real ladies' man and a real smooth kind of character. And I guess he dressed like this all the time, but he was a womanizer. he was a bad dude that way. But that's who I'm named after. Was the only one in my family that ever apparently had style. So I've thought that too, Wilkie Way. I have thought exactly that. If only those sunglasses were available. There's Piers, what's his name? Piers Morgan had a woman on who was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, and she said Jeffrey Epstein shapeshifted. Okay, literally shapeshifted into some sort of monster. Now, as somebody who's met actual shapeshifters, okay, which I honestly have, I believe her. I believe her. And people saying about there can't be reptilians, that's crazy. Who tempted Eve in the garden? Okay. It's clear in the Bible that the devil can show up as some sort of serpent, reptile. They even call him the ancient serpent. Okay, that's what they refer to the devil as, the ancient serpent. So, stands to reason, if the fallen angels are among us, which I believe they are, quite possibly, we got to realize these are supernatural heavenly beings. These are not the same kind of thing we are. I think a whole bunch of very high up people in this world are indeed the fallen angels. That's who I think they are. She right on Piers Morgan's show. Yes, I met shapeshifters, 3 girls who it was only their faces that changed, but their faces literally just like that changed into monster faces. They went from looking like supermodels to looking like creatures from the depths of hell in a split second like that. Okay. I'm telling you, I literally saw that. So I believe Jeffrey Epstein might have been, or it might be, because I don't think he's dead. Pretty sure he's alive. I've known that for years too. Everybody's so sure he's dead. No. If he was working with intelligence and stuff, they escorted him out of there and put another body in his place. That's what they do. Right on, Grace. See you later. So I honestly believe that we are dealing with the fallen angels themselves. Okay. They took wives among them. If they took wives, they must be able to be in human form. But we also have the story of the Garden of Eden to tell us that at least the devil can show up as a serpent. And he's even called, as I say, the ancient serpent. So I believe it 100%. I don't think it's crazy. I've seen supernatural things. Okay, that's people that can't wrap their mind around something supernatural. They think it's all woo-woo and hocus pocus, they'll say, because they've never seen anything actually supernatural. But I have seen things that are supernatural. I've seen things appear, and I've seen things disappear, and I've seen things transform. Okay, so the Lord made this a supernatural reality. It's not a nuts and bolts physical reality like people think. It is a totally supernatural reality we live in. Yep. Satan is trying to get us to hate other flesh. Not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, no. Are UFOs a real thing? Yes, but they're demonic. They're not aliens. They're demonic. Okay, they're from the pits of hell. Fallen angels. That's likely who they are. Right? The world we live in is not just a physical reality. It is a very supernatural reality. And these are heavenly beings. They're not like us. They are of a higher order. Demonic manifestations, absolutely. Absolutely. You have no idea who I am. One of the exorcists that Sean Ryan had on was talking about, he met Lucifer himself. When he was graduating in the ranks in the church, he said this guy showed up all of a sudden, the best dressed, most handsome looking man you've ever seen in your life. He was the picture of perfection. Okay. He'd never seen a man look like this before. And he's talking to Sean like it was Lucifer himself. That's who it was. And he tried to corrupt this guy. He tried to get him drinking and just trying to corrupt him any way he could. And then this guy traveled a long distance, and didn't he show up again? He showed up just, you must have saw that, Steve. You know what I'm talking about. He showed up again. So then that's when Buddy realized that is Lucifer. That is the devil. He walks around in human flesh. He totally does. Whole bunch of the hip hop stars and rap stars have met him. They talk about meeting him in Chicago. That's apparently where he likes to go. So, and wouldn't you know it, Chicago, the home of the blues, because blues music and the devil are definitely related. Nathan Reynolds, that sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. Yep, me too, Shofar Girl. I have no question about it. It's can somebody shapeshift? Yes, I watched it in front of me. I watched it right in front of me. Yes, rock and roll did. The blues had a baby and they named it rock and roll. So Lucifer is walking around on the earth somewhere, and he can probably do some pretty supernatural stuff. He's not as powerful as God, no, but he can definitely razzle dazzle you with some things he can do. And he is pure evil from top to bottom. He can probably transform into a serpent. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Steve. Yep. Father Dan's eyes shapeshift. Wow. Yep, that's right, Melanie. All right, folks, I'm going to get ready and go for a stroll. So if anybody's up for another stream, we'll do a stream on the street. And I don't know what the mission will be today, but slits in eyes. Yep. Yeah, I'll see you soon out on the street. I'll go change my duds, have a quick bite, and off I go. So we'll see you guys in a bit. I hope the music lesson was helpful to somebody. Maybe do another one sometime. Thank you all for being here. Remember that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. It's okay, Tojo, going to stream on the street, so I'll see you soon, buddy.